So there are two main ways that we're going to start with today to make beats: drawing things in with a mouse and playing by hand. We're going to start with the drawing in with the mouse. Now, the first thing we want to do is just check our tempo. I feel like making a little house/techno kind of beat to start things off today. So we can just leave it at the default tempo, 120. Next, I've got a MIDI track. I'm going to arm it. Once I have it armed, now I'm going to load it up with the kit. I'm going to go into categories, drums, and I'm going to choose this here. It's a drum rack preset called Kit Core 808. This contains the drum sounds of the legendary Roland 808 drum machine, classic drum machine. Okay, so once we get that in place, next thing we need to do is we need to create a blank MIDI clip. We can just come here to one of the empty clip slots and double click. When we double click on that clip, it shows up down below in the clip detail view. Now, a couple little pointers about this. First of all, this section right here is called the drum roll. If we take our mouse, we can scroll up and down and we can see all the different sounds that are loaded in it. You can also take your mouse left or right to make the view more consolidated or wider as needed. We want to make sure that this button is enabled here too. This is the preview button. When that's enabled, if you touch the key, you're able to hear the sound. We'll also be able to hear the sound then as we draw the note in too. When we double clicked on this thing and made the clip, by default, we got a loop that was 1 bar long. You can see that it tells us it's exactly 1 bar, 0 quarter notes, 0 16th notes. We can make that longer if we want, but I'm just going to leave it 1 bar for now. So we have 1 bar of musical time here. And if you look, we've got this grid. It's divided into 16 equal parts, 16th notes. Well, we can change those divisions if we just right click. If you right click, you see that we get this section here, the fixed grid. And you can see we've got all these different values to choose from. Let's choose quarter note. You can see now it's just divided into 4 equal pieces. Okay, here's some of the basics for drawing in with mouse. The most basic way of all, just use your regular mouse, find the sound you want. Let's start with the kick and locate where you want to put the note and double click. Once you've created a note, you can also drag it up to a different row, left or right, side to side, and to erase, just double click. That's one way to get started. I'm just going to go ahead and find my kick. I'm going to double click and create a kick drum on each of those 4 quarter notes. So I get that heartbeat that you would hear in a techno or house rhythm. To hear what we did, just hit play. Launch the clip, and I'm going to go ahead and stop. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to stack this thing up a little bit. Let me find the hand clap, and I'm going to double up the 2nd and the 4th note. So I get that little backbeat. Well, doing this is a very basic way to get started, but usually when I'm drawing things in by hand, I like to move a little faster than this. So Ableton has this pencil tool. It's located in the upper right hand corner of your screen. You can turn it on here, and you'll notice the mouse is now a pencil. There's also a shortcut key. If you just hit the letter B, you can toggle between just your normal mouse where you can select things or using that pencil tool. The nice thing about working with the pencil tool is that if you need to create a note, instead of having to double click, you can single click. If you need to erase a note, single click instead of double click. And best of all, if you need to make a lot of notes of a certain type, just click and drag. See, I just made a whole string of quarter notes. Same thing works for erasing too. Just click, drag, and it gets rid of it all.